Hey everyone. So Jesse Ventura, former professional wrestler as well as former governor of Minnesota, recently expressed interest in running for president under the Green Party's nomination. And I'd be lying if I said I knew exactly what the Green Party's nomination process is. I don't know if they do voting or if they just kind of have people higher up in the party that choose, but he has expressed interest, and I didn't really think that much of it at first. I knew that he used to be like a professional wrestler and that he had like some past revolving around conspiracy theories, but I didn't think that much of him. I thought that, I must agree with him at least a little bit if he wants to run as the Green Party candidate. But then I came across this kind of compilation of some instances of him giving his opinions on certain issues, and I liked what I saw. I liked it a lot. So I'm going to play this compilation for you guys, and then I want to come back and talk about why I am really excited about the prospects of Jesse Ventura running for president.
Believe that our military fights for the people anymore. I believe the military of the United States is now the strong arm of the corporate America. The Democrats, who are supposedly opposite the Republicans, I don't believe that. I think it's like pro wrestling. I think that in front of the public, they make us think they're all angry at each other, but the reality is behind the scenes, they're all in rooms cutting deals.
Your mind is pretty made up about waterboarding, correct? You were waterboarded as part of your Navy SEAL training, correct?
Well, it wasn't part of Navy SEAL training. It was part of what they call SEER school, Survival, Escape, Resistance, Evasion. It's a school they required you to go to prior to the combat zone of Vietnam. And yes, we were all waterboarded there, and yes, it is torture.
What do you think about Nancy Pelosi in terms of what she has been claiming with the CIA, lying to
I think what's
misleading
worse
Congress?
is this, the fact that it happened. If we hadn't waterboarded to begin with, none of this would be a controversy, would it?
If we hadn't
And
waterboarded...
torture is torture. If you're going to be a country that follows the rule of law, which we are, torture is illegal.
But these were specifically approved techniques with KSM,
Approved
okay?
by who?
Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, the information we extracted from him before waterboarding was zip. Afterward, he released the information.
All of it before waterboarding.
This was a case that was used
the
3
point
times.
is this. All right, wait a minute. If waterboarding is okay...
Do you want me to put you in Nelson?
Wait. If waterboarding's okay, then why don't we let our police do it to suspects so they can learn what they know?
That's an interesting question. I understand that question.
Again, if waterboarding's okay, why didn't we waterboard McVeigh and Nichols, the Oklahoma City bombers, to find out if there were more people
What's your
involved?
answer to that? Why didn't we?
We did. Well, I don't know. We only seem to waterboard Muslims.
Well, that's an extreme statement.
One of the things,
Have we waterboarded anyone else? Name me someone else we've waterboarded.
well, one that you can't stand either party. You think that the Republicans and the Democrats are
despicable.
gangs. Okay, so, but if someone had a gun to your head and said you had to vote for either Obama or Romney, who would you vote for?
I'd take the bullet.
No, you would not.
Yes, I would. I wouldn't vote for, these gangs have sold out our country, these two. They are totally bought and sold with the help of the Supreme Court. When the Supreme Court said corporations have the same right as people and that money is free speech, goodbye.
All right, and so that's basically where the clip ends. And so I'm not gonna lie, that montage got me pretty excited about Jesse Ventura because he hit on like 2 issues that I feel like are super important. I mean, he was talking about money and politics right there at the end, and I do believe that is the most important issue regarding politics. I think that getting money out of politics is the most important thing. He's on the right side of that, and he's willing to talk about it and bring it up in what I think is a fairly easy to understand way. And then he's also seems pretty against like U.S. imperialism. I really liked his the argument he used about waterboarding, where he said like, oh, if waterboarding isn't torture, then why aren't police allowed to use it? Because obviously it is torture, and so we can't do that here. But in Guantanamo Bay, people, there's less eyes, less cameras, they get away with a lot more over there. And so I like what he has to say. He also just has this very anti-establishment ring to him, and I think that is something that is super popular right now. I think that people are looking for someone that looks like an outsider. Except for, I guess, there is a segment of the population that I do think just wants things to, like, quote unquote return to normal. They yearn for that Obama-esque politician who is just, he's gonna say all the right words, and he's gonna talk with dignity, but they don't actually care what policies he does. And so I think that there are people who want that, but I do think that there are more people who are looking for that anti-establishment figure, and I think that Jesse Ventura does represent that. Something I think that is really interesting about him is, so he was he won his mayoral race as a Reform Party candidate, which is a third party. It was Ross Perot's party. He won as a mayor as that, and then he won governor of Minnesota as a third party. That's pretty impressive. It is very, very difficult to win any elected office as a third party, let alone a governor, that is a major position. That is arguably one of the highest positions in this country. And he did that as a third party. And I think that a big part of it was that he has that kind of name recognition from the fact that he was a part of professional wrestling. But I also think that he is... it's one of those things where I think that people who are famous, I think that they will do better in politics because they have name recognition, but also because people who are famous generally are a little bit more charismatic, they're a little bit better at talking, they're a little bit more likable. And so I think that there are kind of both elements there. And so I think that even though Jesse Ventura, a lot of his name recognition probably isn't what it used to be, I do think that he still has the charisma where he can really win a lot of people over. He can hold the attention of the audience. And I think that that's really, really important. And I'm really excited about the prospects of him taking the Green Party nomination, because I could see him getting a sizable chunk of the vote. And I mean, already you're going to have people who, like, this is so bizarre to me. Like, I see a candidate that I am actually really excited about the idea of him being president. And I know that he has stuff with, like, conspiracy theories. I don't know exactly what he believes on that. I don't know. I don't care about that. Really, like, if he's for the policies that I'm for, then, like, that's my guy. Like, policy is what matters. And so he seemed really good on the issues right there. And if he wants to be a Green Party candidate, I'm assuming he probably also wants Medicare for All, Green New Deal, things like that. I don't know that for sure. If he doesn't, that's an issue. But he seems to have a pretty good understanding of a lot of these, what I would consider a little bit more less mainstream issues, or he doesn't have the arguments that I feel like a lot of people would make in the mainstream. I don't think that people want to talk about waterboarding or money in politics the same way that he is willing to talk about them. And I think that that's really, really important. But I think that it's so crazy that I can get super excited and be like, oh, I hope this guy runs. And there are people who go, what? Oh, you just want Trump to win. What? You just want this horrible person to win. It's like, no, I'm just excited at the idea that somebody who I actually agree with on a lot of things, I might be able to vote for them. Like, that's not a bad thing. That is not a bad thing to want to vote for someone that you agree with. And sorry, mainstream Democrats, Joe Biden does not align with my values on like 99% of the issues. Yeah, he is better than Donald Trump on, things such as healthcare and, arguably a lot of the economic issues. He's arguably better than Trump, but he's just not what we need. He just isn't what we need. He is status quo, business as usual, neoliberal Democrat, and that's just not what we need. I am not a neoliberal Democrat. I'm not like a moderate Democrat. I'm progressive. I identify as like a left-wing progressive social Democrat. And so Joe Biden doesn't get me excited, and I live in not a swing state, and so I feel no need to vote for Joe Biden. I would be really excited at the prospects of voting for Jesse Ventura, and I think a lot of people would, and I think that he is someone that could put the Green Party on the map. I really, really hope he gets the nomination. Like I said, I don't know what that would look like, what that process would look like. I don't know how much he really wants to do it. He would get so much heat. They would criticize him so much. He probably has zero ties to Russia, but immediately they would start talking about how he's like a Russian asset and how he's like Putin's puppet and how he's just, in it to help Donald Trump. No, he's not. He's just super not. I guarantee he disagrees way more with Donald Trump than Joe Biden does. Joe Biden is more closely aligned to Donald Trump than Jesse Ventura is. And so it's just ridiculous to say that he, wants Donald Trump to be elected if he is to run. I think that's just ridiculous. And I also think that it's really exciting at the idea of him running, because there's a good chance he can make it on the debates. Because it's not a very high threshold. You have to read the polling threshold to make it into the general election debates. Not that high. Gary Johnson almost made it in 2016. So there's a very good chance that Jesse Ventura, with the name recognition, and just I think a lot of Bernie people would go to him. I mean, there was a recent poll that came out. It was like 51% of Bernie supporters said that they're heavily considering voting for a third party candidate. That's a lot of people. Bernie Sanders got a lot of votes in the primary. He didn't win, but he got a lot of votes. If half of them vote for a third party candidate, that's a lot of support towards third parties, and that could like really kind of change the landscape of our political system if a third party candidate had that kind of support. Like, what if Jesse Ventura like won states? Like, that would be insane. Maybe I'm getting way ahead of myself. Who knows? I know that he's just like is considering even going for the nomination, but I'm excited about it, and I am going to be following up on this. And so stay tuned. I will definitely be giving updates about Jesse Ventura and his status in the presidential race, and I'm really excited about it. I think you guys should be too if you consider yourself a progressive, just because I think he could do a lot for progressive issues. But if you guys disagreed with anything I said in this video, please leave a comment down below. But if you enjoyed the video, make sure to like and subscribe, and have a great day.